Hey, Neal Duncan here for PGTV Sports Central, and we've got a unique interview today. We're catching up with Adam Taylor, the managing director of Aimwell Events, and we've been working with Adam for over a year for an event coming to Polk County. Adam, welcome to Sports Central, albeit over the pond and not really in the United States right now.
No. I'm in a very cold country at the moment where it's definitely looking at it's raining again. So I'm counting down the days so I can get over to see you.
So let's, obviously, we've been promoting this event for a while,
Mm.
but maybe some of the viewers at home aren't aware of what event we're talking about. But first and foremost, where are you calling in, if you will, or zooming in from?
So I'm calling in from Ireland. So I'm a 9 hour fly away. So that's how a direct flight, thankfully. But yeah, no, I've been annoying you, I think, solidly for about a year now. For what is and for your viewers, it's the Hyundai Archery World Cup. It's an event that brings the best archers from around the world to compete. And so far we've got about 30 odd countries coming from all over, about 300 athletes and coaches. And these guys guys and girls have been training solidly now for a while for this event. So there's a lot of pressure. It's the first one of the season, and it kind of sets it all up for the build up for the big event that's happening in your country in a couple of years' time.
Yeah, and of course, you're talking about the LA 2028 games
Yeah.
occurring out there in Los Angeles. So this is World Cup Stage One. As
Yeah.
you mentioned, this is the first one of the season. If I'm correct, hopefully I am, since we're we're here on TV. Correct. There's three of these worldwide. This is the only one
So
in the U.S.
correct. So actually, it's the only one in the Americas. So it starts off in America, then it goes across to China, then it goes to Turkey, and ends up in Madrid. So it's one of four.
Oh, three
And
others. I'm
yeah,
sorry,
yeah. So
three
you have
others,
three.
not
Yeah.
three
So
total.
exactly. Yeah.
Correct.
So these athletes have a hard schedule ahead of them. It's one a month. And they're competing to basically become the champion effectively of the world, which is no small feat, because these guys and girls are competing in both recurve style and in compound style. And anyone who's watched any of the Olympics will see that there is no margin for error. You have to be on it at all times. So we're throwing all sorts of conditions at them, traveling, different countries and stuff. So they're training hard and they're looking forward to it. And I've been talking up your area quite a lot. So there's a lot of tourist sales pitch going on about, oh yeah, come to Florida. It's great.
Let's talk about Aimwell events.
Mm.
Obviously, this is an international event. You're over in Ireland, coming over to Polk County, to Florida, to the U.S., and like you said, in the Americas is the only location. Um, Aimwell Events has the rights to produce this particular stage one event. How did that come to fruition? And maybe what are some of the other events that you've hosted previously?
So yeah, so this all comes from we are what I call as a sports tourism company. So what we try and do is find really good sports and really good of locations and marry the two together. Unfortunately, as you can imagine, the bidding process takes years. So we ran an event in 2023. It was in Ireland. It was the World Archery Youth Championships, and we got talking to World Archery there. We discovered that there was an opening for a stage slot available. And what we did is we approached various locations, and I have to say you guys were extremely helpful and very very accommodating. And to be fair, you are. I will say this: you kind of take the attitude like, let's get the event happening to make it look as good as possible, not stumbling blocks every three parts, which some venues have. So yourself at Visit Central Florida have been opening my eyes to the possibilities and the things we can do. So what we do is we bid for the event. We worked with World Archery. We have to come up with everything. We then have to promote the event to the archers, and make it an exciting, not just an event. They have to be more things to do. So there's packages that we've developed along with yourselves for them, and encourage them to come over. We then have to help World Archery produce their TV requirements, which is always confusing at the best of times, and it's down to I've had a Zoom call on the other day when we were discussing power requirements in America is very different than power requirements in Europe. The plugs are very different, as you can imagine. So that has turned to some issues, all right. But no, so what we do is we're just trying to put on really good shows
Mhm.
and make it have proper athlete experiences, because these guys have been training so hard. I don't want them just turning up, doing their thing and leaving. I want them to go, oh, I want to come back to this. And the reason why I quite like this event is it's 3 years. So it's with yourself starting in 2025, 26, and 2027. It's April every year. And it kind of, it means that we can put on a good show. And the better we do, the more they'll come and the better
Sure.
it'll be. So there's a lot of excitement around this.
Absolutely, and I think that you hit on something, and for our viewers at home, the fact that you look at sports tourism, you're in the sports tourism space. We certainly are as part of Polk County government, of course, Lake Myrtle with the city of
Yeah.
Auburndale, and in various locations that we have, and municipal partners in Polk County. But I think the key is diversification, right? So
Yeah.
this is not we've certainly hosted archery related events over the years, but maybe not so many of them as what we annually have in baseball space or in the softball space. So event diversification is very important. But international events, because the drive market is the number one visitor to Polk County in the leisure travel side, but also on sports tourism. So now you have literally everyone coming from
Yeah.
less the U.S. athletes from other parts of the world, and so that diversification. So we've hosted we've hosted Pan American lacrosse events and water ski events and the Practical Shooting Confederation World Shoot. That was 70 plus countries that were
Mm.
coming over for that, and the Show Ski World Championships and all those things. So it's that diversification, and you hit on something that's it's true whether it's a event in Polk County, Florida, U.S. or international. At the end of the day, it's about one: do you have the facility that you need,
Hmm.
and how do you adapt it? But the other part, the experience, because most of, not all of them, but most of them, this will be their first time coming to either the U.S. or to Florida or Polk County, and so that first impression. And so we've appreciated your efforts, Adam, in working with us on that initiative because, as you pointed out, this event is not just in 25; it's in 26 and 27, and hopefully something in 28 right before
Yeah.
the LA Games. So these folks are going to come over here and do all kinds of training as they lead up to those LA Olympics.
Yeah, no, and there's a lot of thanks for putting the pressure on me. Yeah,
Well, I
we
just want
have
to be
to.
clear on TV.
Yeah, yeah, no, there's a lot of pressure because you only get one chance at making this right. So if the teams are traveling, which there's teams coming from New Zealand, which as you can imagine is going to take them a while to get here. So we want them to have a wonderful time. And unfortunately, sport is a cruel activity because there might be 300 people coming. There's only going to be so many finalists, so a lot of people are going to have a hard time and they're going to be knocked out. So we have to ensure that they've had an enjoyable experience while having a horrible time, if that makes sense, so that they want to come back again. So there's a lot of that.
They were, at least the overall experience was good. We collectively control what we can control. We can't control whether they do well or not.
Exactly,
Adam,
yeah.
so there's a lot of things, and you already talked about it down to what plugs are being used over here versus what are being used in other countries. Um, Talk about what opportunities there are for folks that are watching this at home. Volunteer opportunities,
Oh,
um,
yeah.
um, sponsorship opportunities if there's a local business that wants to be
Yeah.
involved, or just attending the event. So let's kind of start with volunteer sponsors, and then the general public who wants to come out and see these world class athletes.
Perfect. So volunteers, and this goes with any sport that I've been involved in, and it could be motor racing, it could be anything. Sports don't happen without volunteers, so they are the lifeblood of every sport that
Sure.
we do. And and I am so indebted to so many volunteers for the long hours and stuff that they have to put into. But it's archery is a lot of fun because it's outdoors, and you're working. You're never alone. You're always working in a group, be it the field crew, which would be putting up the target faces, or working on the finals area. So there's a lot of exciting, weird things to do, and I think the most challenging volunteer role is the one that has to get the archers from the green room, as we call it, out onto the finals pitch at the right time, because the archers are all nervous. They're sitting there about to be called to go into live TV to shoot their finals in front of the crowd. And they're quite often huddled in their own little bubble, and the volunteers have to get them moving. And, I think the spirit of volunteers are what make it work. But if they want to come, if they want to get involved, like with buying tickets for the actual event, if they go to the website, which is, I'm going to make sure I get this right, it's the Archery World Cup America.com. And there they can sign up to be a volunteer. And we need everyone who wants to be there can be there. There's a role for everything,
Give that website one more time.
So it is archeryworldcupamerica.com.
Okay. And then let's talk about, is it the same website they're going to go and get information about potential sponsorships, but really more specifically about, I want to go see the best archers in the world.
Yeah.
How do I get there? I know the semifinals are not necessarily a public event, but the finals will be at the Lake Myrtle Sports Park at the Orlando Health Stadium, right there in Auburndale. So tell us a little bit about that. And there's a ticket price, correct?
Yeah, there is. So there's 2 sessions a day, and each session's $10. So you could be watching the compound team event, which would be that kind of session, or there'll be the individuals, which will be the afternoon session. Honestly, the finals is, you can actually, when it gets tense, no one makes noise, and it's the freakiest thing in the world. Everyone is so glued to watching the archer shoot. They can hear them breathe. They can hear the little click of the arrow. It's incredible. So highly recommend coming to watch the finals. And the hope then, I know USA Archery will be there. So if you like archery, you can sign up and go to your local sports club. And that's ultimately what the goal of all of this is, that people are going to come along, see the sport and go, oh, this is really good fun. This is exciting. And then they can sign up with their local club and they can get involved and they can kind of do more archery stuff. So there's that website. You can sign up there to purchase tickets, which again, I can really strongly recommend that you do, and sign up as a volunteer. But if you're talking about local sponsorship opportunities, we have a hospitality tent where what we're really encouraging to do is local businesses to get involved, that they can actually meet athletes on a one-to-one and have that kind of talk from an athlete, about being focused, being driven, dealing with hardship, dealing with the excitement and involving that. But also it can put your brand on a global scale, because to be fair to World Archery, they have a very, very good system of broadcasting around the world. It's, I don't know how many millions of people will watch it from all over the place. And when you see the TV production in there, which is what is causing me sleepless nights at the moment, it is genuinely the plugs and the power requirements. It's a mammoth creature that's coming down to film this. So and that's why we are very strict on when we start and when we stop, because there's satellites and all that kind of stuff involved. But I would recommend going onto the website, having a look. The email address is there, the volunteer link is there, and all the ticket options are there as well.
And again, those finals are the 12th and 13th. Is that correct?
Yeah, 12th and 13th, the Saturday and Sunday.
Those are the 2 days at Orlando Health Stadium, Lake Myrtle Sports Park. So not really the rest of the week necessarily, because there's so many moving parts to that. So really focusing on April 12th and April 13th. I'm looking off here because I've got it up here. I want to make sure I get it right. I'm with you, Adam. There's so many things going on right now in Central Florida's Polk County. And treating each event like it is the absolute only thing going on is important, because that's how those athletes going back to the event experience. So I don't want to mess it up and have the wrong dates here. But April 12th and 13th, one last time, Adam, we're out of time, but one last time, give that website where people can get more information.
Yeah, I'm looking as well, like you said. So it's the archeryworldcupamerica.com.
The event itself, April 8th through the 13th, but the 12th and 13th will be the finals, as I just mentioned, Orlando Health Stadium at the Lake Myrtle Sports Park. If you want more information, go to the website or give us a call at Visit Central Florida Sports, 863-551-4750. Adam, thank you so much. Looking forward to this event and events to come as we really establish Polk County as a top flight destination for archery events.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for having me. I really genuinely appreciate it.
All right. Well, I look forward to a lot of emails, and we'll see you very soon.
Exactly. Thanks very much. Cheers. Thank you.
We're going to send it back to the studio. You're watching Sports Central right here on PGTV.